has teaching instincts.
Oh, because that had Amber Alert written all over it to me. I didn't know what that meant. Pedawada.
We've got Jack from Lancaster. Jack, is that you on the line? How you doing?
Hi, Jack.
Hi, hey. I got a question. Dr. Tyson, when's the next time you're going to be on the Colbert Report?
Oh, well, thanks for tracking that. I've actually been on the Colbert Report 5 times. I think maybe the most, actually. I don't know if he's had some other folks since then. I'm actually scheduled to be on the Colbert Report again in the next few weeks. I'd forgotten the exact date, but it'll be listed on my website. And based on what you just said, I'll make sure to put a note on startalkradio.net as well. And also, I'll be on Jimmy Fallon this coming Wednesday. If you all stay awake that late.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch that, Jack.
So is that your question? Did you not have some deep feeling about Startalk? I mean, about Star Trek? He's gone. Okay.
So Lynn, that was it. He wanted to know something about you.
Well, okay. I'm happy for that. Let's take another break. You are listening to Star Talk, and we want to hear from you about your feelings, comments, opinions regarding Star Trek, its role in our society, whether you're dating a Trekkie, what you feel about this. I'm your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's Lynn Koplitz joining me. Star Talk.
8. We've worked together for years.
7. I'm the parking attendant. I park your car every day.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. We speak at PTA meetings all the time.
Including millions of children and seniors.
5. I went to summer camp with your son last year.
4. I'm your old friend. We went to high school together.
Someone you know is in need.
3. I work at the gas station. I pump your gas.
2. I'm your neighbor. Our kids are classmates.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help?
1. We live next door to each other.
You can make a difference through Feeding America and its nationwide network of more than 200 food banks. Take action at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now a weather update. Winds out of the south-southeast at 9 miles an hour.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Do not be alarmed. We are here to help you save yourself. According to public records, Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must change our behavior. We need to stop spending every dime we earn and start feeding the pig. We must start putting away a piece of our paycheck. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget, and yes, even consider cutting up a credit card. And we must tell a friend to do the same. America, to start moving in the right direction, we must start a movement. Join us at feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Log on to feedthepig.org today.
And for more traffic updates, brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
The future of space and the secrets of our planet revealed. This is Star Talk.
Welcome back to Star Talk. I'm your host, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, joined by comedian Lynn Koplitz. Lynn.
I like this techno music we have playing.
It's very kind of German
very,
techno.
Like, European gay house club music.
You can tweet us at Star Talk Radio.
Producer Ivan created that. I like that, Ivan.
Tweet us at Star Talk Radio or call us at 1-877-5-STAR-TALK. Our subject today is Star Trek and all its cultural implications.
Talk more about the cool things that were on the spaceship.
Well, there's one thing that it was cool, but we don't have yet, the holodeck. That came in later shows.
That was so cool. We have things like the holodeck now.
Well, we have sort of virtual helmets where you go inside them and you pretend like you're in a sword fighter things. Right, but it's not a room. It's you're goggled and you're helmeted.
But eventually will people be able to have a holodeck room like the way people have screening rooms now?
I don't see why not. And if you plug it directly into your sort of neurosynapses, you could simulate feelings and emotions and love and hate.
That's a bad idea. You could totally get addicted to that, couldn't you?
Well, if you're an addictable kind of person, I mean...
Oh, excuse me. I can go into a room where I'm like in an awesome comedy club and I'm killing every night. and I'm getting paid a lot of money by the owner, I don't think I'm coming out. And could you kill somebody in there?
I don't see why not, but they're not for real. It's not like the Matrix.
But that's what I mean. You're not going to go to jail for it. You want to kill somebody, you just go into the holodeck.
Well, it's an interesting ethical issue because people have illegal thoughts all the time.
You holokill.
Yeah, holokill. So would a holodeck be a place where you would live out all of your sort of transgressive behaviors? I mean, who knows? I don't know.
And would the government sanction it when things happen? Like if you're looking at certain porn, they can catch you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting ethical issue. What kind of holodecks would be in our future?
Oh, and then the Japanese would create holodeck clubs, like karaoke clubs, where you go there with people.
So all different kinds.
Program is ready.
So you could imagine you're captain of a ship or whatever.
Is that what you would do, Neil? What would you be? What would you imagine?
I don't know. I have this fantasy that I live out my life on a desert island somewhere with internet, just in solitude.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You can do anything in a holodeck.
Okay.
You can have sex with Angelina Jolie and you go on a desert island and do a bad what's his name movie?
What's the guy's name?
Where he's with Wilson
yeah. So no, I'll think about it, Lynn, and get back to you on
that's
that.
hilarious. No, please. You want to go alone on a desert island with your computer.
So you know what they have? They have tractor beams. We don't have tractor beams today. They had tractor beams back then.
Wait, what were they? Didn't they have something to do with cloaking devices?
There were cloaking devices, and
I love that.
Okay, cloaking means you make yourself invisible, and all it means is that the light you're using to see the object goes right through the object.
And the Klingons or somebody used to use
Klingons.
those.
Klingons had cloaking devices, and the Federation did not.
And when it was too late, then they would show up.
They would show up right in your face and then fire upon you. They couldn't fire while they were cloaked.
And they were in their beam.
In the beam. Well, no. So then if you want to tractor beam them, then they can't escape from you, even with their engines.
I do that with men.
How, Lynn?
No, my cloaking device. No lie. Because women have lots of cloaking devices. If you don't know this, guys, we're an illusion, most of us, especially as we get older. And I was dating this French guy. I'm not kidding you.
Right.
And I had he woke up in the morning and I had my fake hair, my eyelashes, my booby insert things, like my chicken cutlet fake silicone things. And he was like, "There are pieces of you in the bathroom." And it was too late. I already had him in the tractor beam. I'm like, "I'm a Klingon sucker."
So you use this to attract him in, and then he's trapped.
Then he's trapped when it's too late. By the time he sees everything, he sees the real me laying on the floor. It's too late.
I didn't know women had tractor beams.
We do. Oh, Neil, there's so much you don't know because you're on an island with your computer.
All right. Now, also, the antimatter is real. We make it in particle accelerators all the time, but it's the favorite fuel of science fiction. It's the total annihilation of matter. With total annihilation.
They were talking about this on Nurse Jackie this week.
Really?
Exactly what? That's a great show. Exactly what is antimatter?
Antimatter is
against matter.
Well, okay. It is the quantum mechanical opposite of matter. So it's a proton. The antimatter proton would have negative charge instead of positive charge, for example. And the antimatter electron would have a positive charge instead of a negative charge. And it's otherwise identical. The same mass, same other properties. And if you bring them together, they annihilate and they become pure energy. It's the most efficient conversion of energy we know. It is real, and it is continuously tapped for science fiction themes. And the power generators for the Enterprise and the starships of the future all antimatter drives.
I think Paula Abdul said it best when she said opposites attract. That's what you're saying, right? Like if you take antimatter takes one step forward and matter takes
it would attract and then annihilate. That's the difference. That's the part you left out.
That's me. That's how I date. Attract, annihilate. But wait a second. Do we use this now? We use antimatter now?
Yes, in particle accelerators.
Do we make bombs with it?
We're not good enough to do that yet. Good enough, dare I say? Because if I have a blob of antimatter and I hand it to you, how am I going to hand it to you? In what suitcase? Because the suitcase is going to be made of matter, and the matter will be touching the antimatter, and it will annihilate. So you need like magnetic bottles to contain it. It's So matter antimatter annihilation is not something we have any control over.
How'd they even create that? How'd you even find that?
In a particle, you smash particles apart, and some of those byproducts are antimatter particles.
That's interesting.
It's completely there.
It's kind of cool.
So let me reset the show. You're listening to Star Talk. Star Talk. I'm your host, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You can tweet us at Star Talk Radio or call us if you're into 19th century actually,
if you have
barely
a phone.
20th century devices by phone, 1-877-5-STAR-TALK. Tell us what you think about Star Trek and what effect it might have had on your life. Let's find out. Star Trek has actually influenced culture in ways that I think we don't always appreciate.
True.
And in my interview with Lawrence Krauss, author of The Physics of Star Trek, he actually went there a bit. Let's find out.
If you're going to push the edges, you have to push them in a way which doesn't violate known things, but doesn't create stuff that's so wacky that you basically immediately say, that's so crazy, I can't even get into the plot. In fact, I think it's important to realize, I once was on a program with a very distinguished science fiction writer who said, the science in good science fiction is really peripheral. It's the story that matters. And I think Star Trek originally, of course, that's the other reason it caught on. It was these great sagas, and it was Wild West in the stars, as Gene Roddenberry wanted, and the science just gave you a new venue to make it more interesting, and it allowed them to do things that they never did. In fact, the first interracial kiss was on Star Trek. Lots of things they couldn't have done in the real world that they were able to do in this fake world, and at the same time, I think, get people thinking and yearning for going to the stars, and from my point of view, to the extent that one could channel that and seduce people, as I like to say, to use their fascination with what's possible about there, to think about the real universe, which I do maintain, and I say it at the end of the physics of Star Trek, is that in the 23rd century, I think the physics of the real universe will be far more interesting than anything the Star Trek writers have come up with.
Well, there you go. Star Trek just in our culture, in and around us.
I mean, Star Trek, absolutely. No one can argue with the fact that it did push the envelope on everything, on interracial things.
Yeah, it had first interracial kiss, yes, and first interspecies love,
Well, that's what I like about Gene Roddenberry, was that he kind of took it and said, okay, not only do you have a problem with interracial stuff, would you have a problem with interspecies?
The odd thing is, there's Kirk, getting action all across the galaxy, but no one actually wrote in about that. Only when he and Uhuru kissed was there any.
That was their problem, right?
That was their problem, and even then, that was their urge to kiss was forced by some alien force field that made them kiss.
Oh yeah, I love that. That was smart in Gene Roddenberry too. It was like, well, he had to kiss a black lady because the aliens made him.
Kirk to crew. Is anyone aboard?
What's interesting is there are people who have there's a long history of very attractive women being portrayed in science fiction roles. I mean, and Uhuru was no exception to that.
Definitely, she's in miniskirts.
Yeah, and boots, knee-high boots, and
without a doubt. And Captain Kirk was no idiot.
And Lynn, before the show, I heard you sort of pining about how you might like to sort of marry Spock. Is this what you're?
No, I was making him play a game.
No, it was a game. I think, is this what you do in your spare time, Lynn?
Neil, first of all, I bring pop culture to Neil.
What is it? Who would you marry? Who would
bang
you like to know?
Or date? Just say it like it is. It's called Marry, Bang, or Date.
Okay.
A lot of people play it.
I didn't know you thought about Star Trek crew for this. Okay, so why don't you tell me?
I think of everyone. I mean, people do it all the time. Who would you rather marry, bang, or date? It's a game people play.
Okay, so
with Star Trek, who would I marry, bang, or date? I would marry. I told you I would marry Spock.
Okay, to keep you warm and dry. Go.
No, and because Spock is logical and he would get things done, I would date Scotty because for obvious reasons he's Scottish. He's going to be drunk and fun. And I would bang Kirk, but I want him to get tested first, and not just at a clinic. I want NASA testing.
Because he gets around. Obviously.
He gets alien tail or tails.
Lynn, you're out of control here. I got it. That means it's time to go, I think, Lynn.
Sorry, on that note.
You're listening to Star Talk Radio. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your host. A show funded by the National Science Foundation. We'll see you again next week on Star Talk. Lynn, goodbye.
Goodbye. Keep looking up.